Welcome everybody. My name is Marilyn Burnett. I am your tarot reader and astrologer, back with the messages for the week of November 20th of 2023. You are going to see something new this week because if you want your tarot card messages, you need to go check out my shorts in the video portion of my YouTube channel. And there you will find a card that is drawn for each sign. Be sure to watch for your sun, moon, and rising, and then give me a big thumbs up, make a comment. Let me know what you think about the new format, and I appreciate your support as usual. Now, this week, of course, is Thanksgiving, so wishing you all safe holiday travels, and hope you have a joyous time with friends and family this week. So let's get started talking about the week ahead. So as we begin, we will see that Mercury, here with the little antenna ears, is speaking in harmony with the asteroid Chiron over here in Aries, which is still retrograde. Mercury rules our mind, it's our communication, it's our thinking, and Chiron rules our healing. Chiron is a healer and a coach. So there is information that you can get this week that could help you on your healing journey, which of course is really always a good thing. So cheers to those who are able to kick off a healing journey this week. We're very powerful because of the fact that we have Pluto moving ahead in Capricorn at 28 degrees, speaking in a sextile. So again, this little blue line with the asterisk is a sextile, and the conversation that it's having with the sun is our ego self. So as this week kicks off, we are feeling very strong. We are feeling very powerful. So if you have some things that you need to tackle because it's going to be a short week, good news. You have all the support you need to get things done. All right, let's take a look at Tuesday. So as the week progresses on Tuesday, you will see that we are almost done with Scorpio season. Yay, we have survived. Now, you've been noticing, and we talked about it this past week, that there was going to be some intensity as Mars and the Sun joined together in the sign of Scorpio to create a big beginning. Now, it also means that whatever 2-year journey you have been on, that has also come to an end at this time. So you will have seen in the news this past week that there have been some big endings. We saw a big explosion. We saw the death of a beloved first lady. So there were some significant things that ended last week. And as we move into this week, the 2-year chapter that begins can take off in a big way. So we see that as we have the sun sitting at 29 degrees. Now, 29 degrees of Scorpio is what we call an anaretic degree. It is very intense. It's very critical. It can cause you to have to make a significant change because of something difficult that you're having to deal with. Now, Scorpio, of course, is about death and transformation. It is about rebirth. It is also the little detective of the zodiac. So there can be something this week that you are uncovering with the help of the sun at 29 degrees of Scorpio. So look for Tuesday of this week to be about some big dramatic endings, for things, big secrets to be exposed and to be revealed. So it looks to be an interesting start to the week. And as we move into Wednesday this week, welcome to Sagittarius season. Now, Sagittarius is that lightness, that joy, that fun, that expansive type of energy that we look forward to after we did all the deep, dark work during Scorpio season. So the next 4 weeks should be much lighter as far as the energy goes, because we want to move forward. We can't stay stuck in the past. We can't stay stuck in the dark. So it's time for us to move on. And the sun at 0 degrees of Sagittarius on Wednesday will help us to do that. Now, you will notice that we have two big important planets, and technically the sun is a luminary, at 0 degrees, which is brand new energy that we're learning to navigate. It is creating a square, this red line, this square in the middle of the line comes over here to have a conversation with Saturn, which is still sitting at 0 degrees of Pisces, but it's almost moved off of here, so that will be good news this week as well. But a square means change has to happen. Sagittarius rules foreign countries and foreign lands. Saturn is trying to create borders and boundaries in places that we can't necessarily see. It is trying to create structure. So there is some big conversations this week that will probably be occurring involving the Middle East. Changes have to happen. Leaders have to maybe agree to disagree, or they need to come up with some new ideas. But we can't just keep doing the same old thing. Sagittarius wants us to grow. It wants us to expand. Its ruler is Jupiter, a very benefic planet. Saturn is very strict. So there is something this week that causes us to pause and consider a different way, a different approach, a different way to move forward instead of just taking off like Sagittarius loves to do. They love the fun and the adventure. But Saturn says, no, we have to take things a little bit more seriously. We need to consider the direction that we're moving in, not just take off. So there's a very significant conversation that needs to happen in your life and in the world on Wednesday. All right. As we move on to Thanksgiving Day, we will still have a bit of that tension, and we will also notice that Mars is at that anaretic degree that the sun was at. Mars really stirs up the pot, makes things even more intense, and of course it's still very closely connected to the sun. We need it, right? We can't change momentum or change direction without the energy to do so. And Scorpio and the sun together give us a lot of energy. I can say personally, I have been really motivated to try different things, to get old projects wrapped up. Anything that's been sitting around for a while, it's this time to pick it up and move it forward. You may find the same is true for you, and you still, of course, have that square. So now you have Mars playing into that square with Saturn too. So there again, like there is this desire to make a change, make it happen fast, and just move on. But Saturn's going to continue to say not so fast. Saturn is the brakes, where both the sun and Mars are the gas. And you will flood your engine if you don't learn how to apply just the right amount of gas and the right amount of clutch. That's another way, if you've ever driven a stick, that I like to describe this energy. So there's a finesse that's needed, and maybe that is in your family conversations over Thanksgiving dinner. So just expect to try to approach things in a somewhat different and unique way. Even Mercury in Sagittarius is speaking at an odd angle to the planet Uranus. So again, your conversations may be weird, strange, unexpected over the Thanksgiving turkey table. There's just something that could be an unexpected solution to a problem that is possible. It's very, very interesting, unique ways of thinking that are possible. So I can't wait to hear how your turkey talk goes, because it, again, it should be really interesting and intriguing. We also still have Neptune speaking at that in conjunct quincunx. Again, that's this green line back to the South Node in Libra. Now, both the South Node and Venus in Libra are beginning to get really close to that October eclipse point. So there is more eclipse work coming up, especially in next week's reading. We're going to be talking about this as we talk about the full moon in Gemini. But right now, what Venus in Libra has been doing is having a little bit of a difficult conversation with Chiron. And now the moon in Aries joins with Chiron, and you're feeling pretty fired up about something. And this tense conversation, again, could be a part of the Thanksgiving celebration. It's not the place for it. So whatever this is, it can wait. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's exactly what this energy is about. This is not the time to make things worse. So unless you can meet in the middle and see both sides, don't bring it up, because it's not going to get resolved at this time. As we move into Friday, the moon will move into the sign of Taurus, which it loves. It's home away from home. It is where you get to enjoy Black Friday shopping deals, and you feel really good about it, and you might be feeling a little overindulgent. However, that Saturn at 0 degrees is still there trying to contain your ooey gooey feelings. But if you want to use your intuition to get something done, find all the best deals, that is a great way that the moon works in harmony with the planet Saturn. So that's very emotional energy as well. So if you put off those conversations over Thanksgiving dinner, now might be a better time to try to have those conversations. However, now we have Mars joining the Sun in the sign of Sagittarius. And again, they are now exactly squaring Saturn. So if you're not ready to compromise, this is not the time to try to make peace. But it is the time to think about what you want. What are your growth opportunities? What are your goals for 2024? Now's the time to start setting some of those goals. And if you didn't get where you wanted to get this year, then that means you can't do things the way you did in 2023 and expect there to be anything different in 2024. So this is the time for you to really start thinking about what it is that you want to change and how you want to grow, right? Sagittarius is a highly educated sign. It knows there's more to life than just studying a book. You got to get out and live your life, and you got to live it through adventures and gain knowledge through living. That square to Saturn, though, is really going to push your buttons. So give yourself grace and understanding, and know that if something is suddenly changing in your life unexpectedly, there's a reason, and allow yourself to explore what that could be. Now, the moon at the same time as Mars moves into Sagittarius, moving into Taurus, creates another quincunx out there. So there's some kind of weird, awkward energy going on this week. So get curious. Don't get triggered. Then as we move into Saturday, we are starting to see both Mars and the Sun making a little bit of separation, but Saturn has big rings, so the square is going to be in effect for a while. And again, like I said, it's not about being triggered, it's about being curious, and it's about being willing to make some changes. So be open to whatever those changes will be. We also see that we're starting to get a little bit of an influence between Mercury and the North Node. So this is the energy where the big ideas and where fated conversations and fated contracts can be created. So this is just starting, and it will be with us Saturday as well as into Sunday. So on Sunday, we have a couple of big things happening. We have the moon connecting to Pluto, so emotionally we feel very strong and powerful. And then our mind is fired up because we have Mercury in Sagittarius speaking in harmony with the North Node in Aries. This is fate having a strong role in what you're thinking. And this is the South Node having the same conversation with Mercury at 24 degrees that helps us remember something we learned in the past that could help us grow here in the future. At the same time, we have Venus in Libra, where she's very strong and at home, having an odd conversation to Uranus in Taurus, which is ruled also by Venus. This is weird love connections, weird financial blessings. This is unexpected connections. Unexpected love connections are possible at this time as well. The other thing to consider is Neptune in Pisces, still retrograde, is having a different conversation with Mercury than the nodes because it is by square. This can be beneficial, right? Neptune in Pisces causes us to go inward when it is in retrograde. So there are things that we need to get honest with ourselves about. We need to think about things like addictions, things that we're doing to self-medicate. We might need to make some changes, and a square means we might have to change what we're thinking, how we are connecting to our spiritual selves, because Mercury in Sagittarius is very much about learning about spirit and spirituality. And when it's a square, there's something that we need to change about ourselves and about what we're thinking. And so changing our mind about the issues that are going on overseas. There's some truth that needs to come out, that we may suddenly see things in a whole new way because of the conversation that happens over the weekend between Mercury and Neptune. So there's some really interesting energy this week. Lots of changes and shifts, all meant to get us moving forward in some way and getting us ready for that upcoming full moon in Gemini, which will be happening on Monday. So normally, of course, I wait to have our sessions to talk about it, but just going to give you a really high level because of the fact that the week will actually kick off with the full moon in Gemini next week. But you don't want to wait to hear what that will be about, then go check out my written horoscope for the full moon in Gemini, as well as the monthly horoscope for November, because if you go take a look on my website, you can get yourself prepared. I write out all of the details for the upcoming full moon, which is balancing the sun with Mars in Sagittarius against the moon in Gemini. So there's tension at every full moon, and we're completing something that we've been working on, studies, teaching, classes that we're taking. But go ahead and take a look at the articles that I have out there so that you can get more details for your sign in particular. And of course, always read for your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. Rising sign is usually the most accurate because it's easy to see. The sun and the moon are more about personal experiences that you are having versus physical things changing in the world around you, which is usually what we see from the rising sign. So let me know in the comments what you think about this new format, with moving the tarot reading portion into the shorts so that you can just click on those and get a quick hit about whatever you are wanting to uncover for your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right. I do hope you enjoy the new format. I am growing and changing every day and currently in the process of looking at what 2024 will look like for me and my business and my offerings as well. One of the things that I'll offer to just a very select few people is an opportunity to come work with me in my home. So as you can imagine, not everybody's going to get to have that opportunity, but for those that do, you will be able to experience an amazing breakthrough weekend where I can use all of the tools in my tool belt, from astrology, tarot, a little bit of Reiki healing by clearing your chakras. We can do all kinds of things, and it will be basically created for whatever your specific needs are for that weekend, whether they be hypnotherapy, NLP, tapping, you name it, we can work on it. And the nice thing about in-person breakthrough sessions is, instead of having to spread out my coaching package like the 12 individual sessions, you can get it all done in one weekend, plus room and board. And if I do say so myself, my home's pretty nice and a cozy, relaxing, healing environment that you would really benefit from. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out on my website for all the details. Also, out there is a very in-depth reading for 2024 where we will break down all of the planetary movements for next year, all of the new moons, the full moons, and the eclipses, so you can truly be prepared for the changes that are coming for you in 2024. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. I will talk with you all again next week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate your support, and I hope you all have a very wonderful and beautiful Thanksgiving.